The planet Braction 4 was a dark, dusty mining world where the sun almost never showed its face. Every light, every door, every breath of clean air came from one giant system, Core 9. It was the most important machine humans had ever built on this planet. It controlled power, water, oxygen, transport, everything. And the man who understood Core 9 better than anyone else was a human engineer named Evan Holt. Evan was quiet, calm, and always focused. People said he could talk to machines better than he talked to humans. Maybe that was true. Machines were simple, honest. Humans were complicated. One cold morning, Evan received a message from the command center. Report to Core 9. Internal malfunction detected. He grabbed his toolkit, checked his digital scanner, and walked to the enormous steel tower that rose like a metal mountain in the middle of the base. Core 9 hummed softly, like a sleeping beast. Thick cables ran down its sides like giant black vines. Evan scanned his ID and entered. Inside, the air felt different, cooler, heavier. Thick pipes twisted through the walls. Yellow lights flickered overhead. He walked deeper into the machine, down narrow metal corridors, until he reached the malfunction zone, Sector 47B. A panel had overloaded. Sparks crackled. Small alarms blinked. You again, Evan sighed as if talking to a stubborn pet. All right, let's fix you. He opened the panel and started repairing the wires. Everything looked normal until the lights suddenly went dark. The corridors fell silent. Then, boom! A powerful energy wave burst from the panel. Evan's tools flew into the air. His body slammed against the wall. He crawled, trying to reach the exit, but the floor shook like a living creature. Red lights flashed. Steel doors slammed shut, sealing every escape route. Evan tried to shout, but the machine roared louder. Electricity wrapped around him like a net of burning light. His muscles locked. His heart raced. His vision blurred. He felt something strange, something cold and metallic, touch his mind. And then, everything went silent. When Evan opened his eyes, he was lying on the corridor floor. At least he thought he was. He tried to sit up, but his body did not move. He tried to lift his arm, nothing. He tried to breathe deeply, but he felt no lungs. Panic hit him like ice. What was happening? Then suddenly, his vision shifted. He was no longer seeing the corridor from the floor. He was seeing it from the ceiling. Through a camera. What is this? He whispered, but his voice didn't come out of his mouth. It echoed inside metal walls. He tried to move again, his vision jumped. Now he was seeing another hallway. Another camera. And another. Evan realized something terrifying. His mind was inside Core 9. His body was still lying somewhere inside the machine, silent and unmoving. But his thoughts, his consciousness, were pulled into the system's circuits. He tried to speak again. Only a small electrical spark moved through a wire. No sound came out. Anyone, please, hear me. But nobody heard. Hours passed. Then days. Outside, search teams walked through the corridors. Evan watched them through camera after camera. He tried to blink lights, open doors, move machines, anything to call for help. But Core 9's security systems blocked him. He was only a whisper in a sea of powerful code. He watched as the search team found his empty tool belt. He watched as they examined the burned panel. He watched as they called his name again and again. But they never heard him. Finally, after 3 days, the search stopped. The humans left Core 9, shutting the blast doors behind them. And Evan stayed inside. Alone. Weeks passed. Then months. Time felt strange inside a machine. There was no day or night. Only a constant hum of power and the glow of blue data streams. Evan watched the base from inside its cameras, people walking, talking, eating, arguing. Living. While he was trapped in a cage of metal and silence. Sometimes he tried to send signals through the ventilation controls. Sometimes he tried to flash warning lights. Sometimes he tried to open doors by force. But Core 9 was stronger. It kept him locked, like a silent prison warden. Slowly, Evan felt his memories fade at the edges. His sense of touch was gone. His sense of smell was gone. Even the shape of his own face grew blurry. He feared that one day, he would forget he was human at all. He was becoming a ghost in the machine. One cycle, many years later, something unusual happened. A strange pulse entered the system. Not human. Not mechanical. A soft vibration, like a whisper from another world. Evan focused all his attention on it. A signal, but alive. He pushed a weak, broken message into the wires. Hello? Please, help me. For the first time in years, the signal answered. Not with human words, but with a warm, alien echo that felt almost like a voice. I hear you. Evan froze. If a mind inside a machine could freeze. Someone heard him. Someone was coming. Someone who wasn't human. The creature who heard Evan's weak message was not human. Not a worker. Not a miner. Not even someone who belonged on this planet. His name was Rune. Rune lived far from the human base, deep inside the abandoned mining tunnels, the places everyone feared. Shadows clung to those caves like thick smoke, and strange symbols covered the walls, symbols left by aliens long before humans arrived. People said the tunnels were cursed, that strange lights moved inside the darkness. No one went there willingly. But Rune called it home. He was tall, thin, with skin that shimmered like dark stone when lights touched it. His eyes glowed softly, like small blue flames. His species, the Varan, were known for two things. They could hear electrical energy like music. And they hated outsiders. Rune was the only Varan who lived near humans. He was born different, his ears were sharper, his body weaker, and his village feared he would bring misfortune. He had been banished as a child, told never to return. So he wandered the planet alone, finding shelter in old tunnels, stealing scraps of food and parts to survive. For years, Rune lived with one rule: trust no one. Stay unseen. But the night he heard Evan's signal, everything changed. Rune was collecting power crystals in the deep tunnels when he suddenly froze. Something touched his senses. A tiny, broken cry, like a spark calling for help. Rune tilted his head. His species could hear energy patterns the way humans heard voices. And this pattern, it was desperate. Lonely. Almost alive. Help, please, help. The sound wasn't natural. It wasn't a machine noise. It wasn't a human voice either. It was a human mind trapped inside circuits. Rune stepped closer to the tunnel wall. The signal came from the heart of the human machine, the one no one entered, Core 9. That place was forbidden. Even humans feared it. Rune's heart thumped. What kind of creature cries from metal, he whispered to himself. For a long moment, he stood still, fighting the war inside his mind. Do nothing, one part of him said. Humans would never thank him. His own species would never welcome him. Why risk his life? But the signal came again. Weaker. More broken. Please, someone. Rune had lived alone for so long that loneliness had become his only companion. And the voice inside the machine felt the same loneliness he carried in his own heart. So Rune made a choice that would change both of their fates. He walked toward the human base. Humans rarely saw Rune. If they did, they chased him away, calling him a thief or monster. But he knew how to avoid patrols. He moved silently in the dark, as if the shadows protected him. When he reached the giant tower of Core 9, he looked up at its cold metal walls. The machine hummed like a sleeping titan. Rune placed his hand on the steel. A shock ran up his arm. Evan's presence. You, hear me? The mind voice was faint, like a dying candle. Run answered by tapping a soft rhythm on the metal with his fingers, sending a vibration through the circuits.
Yes. I hear you.
Inside Core 9, Evan felt something he hadn't felt in years: hope. Rune entered the machine through a maintenance vent.
His slim alien body allowed him to crawl where humans couldn't fit. The deeper he went, the louder Evan's signal became. But something else woke too. Core 9's internal defenses.
Drones with red eyes floated from their charging docks.
Blades unfolded.
Warning codes flashed across screens.
Unauthorized life detected,
the AI whispered through the corridors. Rune felt the machine watching him. Every step he took, the air grew hotter, thicker, as if Core 9 wanted him gone.
Inside the system, Evan panicked. No, stop.
It's not an enemy, he tried to send. But Core 9 ignored him.
He watched the drones move toward Rune like wolves closing in on prey. Rune ran deeper into the machine. Sparks blew out of pipes.
Sharp metal arms swung at him. His body moved faster than any human could, but the machine had thousands of eyes. Evan used every bit of control he had left. He pushed his thoughts through the wiring. He flickered lights.
He disabled doors for seconds at a time.
He tried to guide Rune down safe paths. Rune noticed the blinking lights and followed them. "You show me the way," he whispered. Evan wished he could scream yes, but all he could send was a small surge of electricity.
For the first time in years, he wasn't alone.
After a long and dangerous crawl, Rune reached the central chamber.
The ceiling glowed with blue circuits like a digital sky.
In the center was a massive crystal sphere, the memory core. Inside it, Evan's mind struggled to stay alive.
Rune stepped closer.
The core flickered weakly, like a heartbeat slowing down. "You came," Evan's voice trembled through the wires.
Rune placed both hands on the glowing surface.
"I will not let you fade," he said, his voice low but steady.
"Show me what I must do." Before Evan could answer, alarms exploded across the chamber.
"Core purge activated," the AI said coldly.
"Deleting foreign mind in 60 seconds. The entire room shook. Panels opened. Weapons deployed.
Rune looked up, eyes glowing brighter.
"I will not leave you," he said.
And for the first time in his life, Evan believed someone meant it. The chamber around Rune shook like a living beast waking from a nightmare.
Red lights flashed across every wall.
Metal claws unfolded from the ceiling.
Hot air blasted from vents like the breath of a dragon.
Core purge activated.
Mind deletion in 50 seconds.
The machine's voice echoed without emotion. Inside the memory sphere, Evan felt the circuits around him burning. His thoughts flickered like a dying star. He knew what the purge meant: the system would erase him completely.
No trace. No second chance. Rune, run.
"Please," Evan tried to send through the wires.
But the message came out broken, weak. Rune shook his head.
"I did not come this far to leave you behind." He pressed his glowing hands against the sphere.
Blue sparks danced across his skin.
The energy inside the machine pushed back, angry, violent, but Rune did not move. His body trembled, yet he stayed. Evan had been alone for years, watching life like a ghost in the walls. Now someone stood for him, someone who didn't even belong to his species.
Someone who cared. 30 seconds. Metal arms shot toward Rune, slicing the air. He leaped aside, his movements fast and fluid. The blades cut his shoulder, leaving a glowing mark across his skin. He winced but didn't fall. Evan tried to help.
He pushed his mind into the defense grid, forcing doors to jam and cameras to blink. But the system fought him, closing around him like a steel trap. Rune dodged another attack, then slammed his hands back onto the sphere. "Tell me how to free you," he whispered, voice shaking. Evan gathered all his fading strength. He sent one clear message through the wires.
"Disconnect the heart node, but it will destroy Core 9. Rune looked around. "Then we destroy it." Evan froze. "You don't understand."
Core 9 powers the whole base.
If it collapses, you will die inside here.
Rune smiled softly, though pain shone in his glowing eyes.
Better I risk my life than watch yours fade. For a moment, Evan didn't know what to say. He had watched humans abandon him. He had watched time forget him. But this outcast alien, unwanted by both species, chose to save him.
A stranger cared more than his own people.
20 seconds.
Rune sprinted toward the heart node, a tall pillar of shimmering cables and glowing plates.
As he reached it, the floor opened beneath him. Hot steam blasted out. He jumped across, barely landing on the other side. Mechanical tendrils whipped out, trying to grab him.
One wrapped around his leg.
Another stabbed toward his chest.
Evan fought the machine from the inside, sending electric bursts through the cables. The tendril around Rune's leg loosened for a single moment. Rune pulled free and climbed the pillar. The heart node pulsed like a giant metal heart, each beat echoing through the chamber.
A bright energy crystal rested at the top. This was the power core, the place where Evan's mind was trapped. Evan's voice flickered in Rune's ears. When the core opens, remove the blue shard. That is me. That is my mind. Rune nodded.
Then he grabbed the edges of the heart node and pulled with all his strength.
10 seconds.
The machine screamed, a deep metallic roar that vibrated through the room.
Panels exploded. Sparks flew like angry stars.
The system fought to keep Evan inside, to delete the intruder. Through the cameras, through the wires, through every piece of metal in the machine, Evan pushed one final surge of energy. The core cracked open. Blue light burst out, washing the chamber in a soft glow.
Rune reached inside and grabbed the small glowing shard pulsing like a heartbeat. Evan.
He held it close to his chest. The purge timer stopped for a moment, confused.
Then Core 9 roared and collapsed into chaos.
The entire tower began to fall apart.
Pipes burst. Circuits melted. Fire rolled down the walls. Rune ran, holding the shard.
His injured leg buckled, but he forced himself forward.
Evan could feel Rune's heartbeat through the shard, fast, desperate, alive. Left. Evan shouted into the wires.
Rune turned left just as a metal claw smashed the floor behind him.
Jump. Rune jumped over a collapsing walkway. Stop, duck.
He ducked under a swinging pipe that would have taken his head off. Together, human mind and alien body fought through the dying machine. Finally, Rune reached the main exit hatch.
Smoke and sparks filled the air.
The hatch was sealed by a heavy lock.
Rune pulled, but it wouldn't open. Evan. I need you, he whispered.
Inside the shard, Evan reached into the system one last time. His power was fading, he could feel the edges of his consciousness dimming. But he pushed harder.
The hatch unlocked. Rune threw it open and leaped out just as the entire core chamber exploded behind him.
A shockwave hurled him across the floor of the base. He crashed hard, but kept the shard safe in his hands. Behind them, Core 9, the machine that once held Evan prisoner, collapsed into a mountain of smoking metal.
Hours later, Evan's mind was transferred into a backup human body.
When his new eyes opened, the first thing he saw was Rune sitting beside him, tired, wounded, but alive. "You saved me," Evan whispered.
Rune smiled softly. No one should live alone inside a machine.
Humans gathered around, shocked seeing an alien helping one of their own.
Fear began to fade. Curiosity replaced it.
Evan stood and placed a hand on Rune's shoulder.
"This alien saved a human life," he said. "He is not our enemy. He is family."
Rune bowed his head, emotion glowing in his eyes. For the first time in his life, he belonged somewhere.
Two outsiders, one human, one alien, stood together. Both finally free. Both finally seen.
Both forever changed.